Welcome back, everyone. It's Ready or Not.
Football edition.
I'm Chris Dax. Just go with it.
I'm Nate the Great.
End of the season, we're going with it. This is the Week 14 recap.
Week 15 projections.
And this is the week of survival.
This is it. This is the final countdown right here. Final round.
But you're looking at some of the players that got hurt this week.
Every player?
Almost all of them are big names.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, Joe Schmo from whatever got hurt. And the names that I'm going to say today are hurting a lot of people in a big way.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start off. Let's give them a little bit of good news. Let's start off with a little bit of who actually performed this week.
Top QBs for the week. Lamar Jackson, 32.6 on my team.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Fields, 24.72, also on my team. Jake Browning, 24.7.
We're gonna talk about the whole on your team in a minute on how you affected the playoff rankings.
But I had the top three QBs. Remember, I told you I should put Browning in, and then the other two went off, and now they're the top three. Yeah. I was like, okay, so I put the right two in.
Yeah, you did.
And then Desmond Ridder, 24.4. He's a free agent.
Free agent, yeah.
Matthew Stafford. So I don't know if anyone picked them up. No, he didn't. No, it wasn't picked up. So I don't know if someone wants to pick him up. I don't know if he was looking for a QB. Maybe someone that lost CJ Stroud. Matthew Stafford, 23.7 on Steiger's team. You want to go through any injuries before I go to the bottom? Or?
So, no, because you didn't. Well, you mentioned him, but you didn't mention him yet.
Well, okay, you know what? Let me. Yeah, he's the first on the list. So, bottom five QBs: CJ Stroud, 2.6 on your team,
and he had a concussion, and he's week to week. It's not guaranteed because it wasn't a severe concussion. So that's somebody that personally I'm watching. But anybody that has other leagues, if you have Stroud because he's been on fire, you might want to be watching and look at what else is out there.
You have Justin Herbert, 2.8 on Prue's team.
So he's out guaranteed for week 15 with a fractured finger. And they're not sure if it's going to be rest of the season or if it's just going to be 1 week. But they've got the...
I don't think... Are they in the running for the playoffs right now?
Not really.
They might as well rest them.
I would say so too. And I can't think of the guy's name. It's Easton. Sounds like a hockey stick. But Easton is their quarterback that's going to be playing this week.
All right, you got Joshua Dobbs, 4.6 on Prue's bench. He did not play him, but he had him, and he dropped him already. So Dobbs worked out well for me, and then as soon as I let him go, he starts doing poorly.
That's your defense.
Dropping players? Bryce Young, 6.5 on Josh's team, on Steiger's team. Tua on Prue's team, 7.1, and he did play Tua.
Yes, he did.
I'm pretty sure he played Herbert as well. Yeah, he played
he
Herbert and Tua. So he had 3 of the bottom 5. 2 of them played, obviously.
Yep.
Shame. Okay. Going to running backs?
Go to running backs.
Well, top running backs. Ezekiel Elliott's on your fantasy team, formerly on your actual team. But either way, put up 23.5 points. So great job from Zeke.
And a lot of people were saying that he was somebody to pick up and bench, not to play him.
Did you play him?
Yeah.
I know you did. You got Breece Hall, 22.6 on Josh's team. You got James Cook, 22.6 as well, and also on Josh's team. Side note, we're going to go into this later, but I don't know if you saw, Josh had the second highest score and lost to the first highest score. Cannot catch a break. And you're seeing he's on the QB top list and 2 of the top running backs, and he's on a top wide receiver list. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
You have Raheem Mostert, 22.6 as well on Christina's team. Saquon Barkley, 20.6 on my team. Then bottom of the running backs, we got Rashawn Johnson, 0.6 on Will's bench, which I believe he dropped him.
You dropped him, yeah.
DeAndre Swift, 3.9 on my team, which we were just talking about before the podcast. I need him to do some work. Zach Charbonnet, 5.3 on Will's team. Ty Chandler, 5.7 on Will's team. Josh Jacobs, 6 points on Josh's team.
So Jacobs is out at least week 15 with a knee hyperextension. They're not sure what it's going to be beyond that. That is on Steiger's team. And then Alexander Madison on your team has a high ankle sprain, and they're saying out multiple weeks. They didn't give a designated time. Usually a high ankle sprain is 3 weeks.
Is he still on my team? I feel like I dropped him already. He should.
When I looked him up, he was on there.
Then probably. I don't think I played him, though. Did I? I don't even remember. Maybe I did.
I don't remember.
Wide receivers. Top wide receiver of the week, Deebo Samuel once again. He was last week.
He scored 6.
6.6. He was top last week, right? No, he was second last week. He came back out.
Deebo's on a tear.
But either way, over 30-point game once again. 31.5 on Christina's team. Great job there. Drake London, 25.2 on my team. Who would have seen that coming? But I'm happy for it.
I did play him in fantasy or in DFS though.
Yeah, DJ Moore, 23.8 on your team. And then DeAndre Hopkins and Cooper Kupp, 22.9, 22.5 respectively. Both on Josh's team. That's what I'm saying. He has like so many top players. And wait, and who did he played Christina, right? Which Christina only has, the Mostert and Samuel. Which obviously Samuel was big.
And then Mostert scored 22.5. And then Zay Flowers scored 17. She had a lot of 14s and 17s
the
week. So she didn't have the top, but she had like the 6, 7.
Yeah.
For every position.
So it's just like all the other positions were just still high.
Yep.
So bottom of the wide receivers, we got Nico Collins, 1.8 on Will's team, which I believe.
Nico is out for multiple games. Did not give it, potentially out multiple games. It's a calf injury, so it depends on can he play through it? Do they want to risk him? There's a lot of different things there, but potentially out multiple games.
Got Amon-Ra St. Brown, 3.6, also on Will's team.
He just sucked.
I was like, anything? No? All right. No saving grace for Amon-Ra St. Brown. Sorry. Got Justin Jefferson, 3.7 on Prue's team. I know you got something there.
He's got chest and rib injuries. That ball thrown in the middle of the field was not the smartest ball to throw. They literally call it an injury. I believe it's called an injury ball. But chest and ribs, he's day-to-day. They said he could play because I believe they're still in the playoff hunt. But
Vikings are, yes.
But we'll see.
Jamar Chase, 4.4 on Prue's team.
Browning's not targeting him.
I know because Browning's doing well, obviously, but he's not targeting all the usual suspects.
Yeah, he's throwing to the running backs.
Interesting. George Pickens, 4.4 on Christina's team.
So we also have Tyreek Hill on Justine's team, who's also on my other fantasy team. This is killing me. This was giving me a heart attack. I actually went to bed and said, heck with it, I'm not watching the rest of the game. And then they had that wild ending.
I came out to look ridiculous. I was so upset.
The wild ending with two fumbles for Raheem Mostert touchdowns, which gave me the victory in my other league. But then somehow they still lost the game.
Dolphins weren't playing well the entire game. They got lucky with those 2 touchdowns at the end. And then they just tried to coast off that with no defense, barely any offense. Like, I don't know what they expected to do. Just hope that the Titans weren't going to try to rally back.
By the looks, I watched the highlights of the last 3 minutes, and I was like, wow.
The worst 4 minutes of my life.
Tyreek Hill, high ankle. Justine,
not really,
questionable for week 15. I would be very nervous for the Dolphins if he doesn't play because that offense looks completely different without him.
I know. No, when he was on the sideline, they just couldn't produce. But it was a weird game too. Like it was just weird on the Dolphins side. I agree.
Are you guys locked in for playoffs or not yet?
I don't know if we're locked in. Right, we're second in
that's
the AFC,
it for wide receivers.
Bills actually can still catch up technically.
That's it for wide receivers. Go to your
tight ends
for a second.
Top tight ends: Evan Ingram, 27 points on Prue's team. Njoku, 24.1 on Justine's team. Hunter Henry, 17.5 on nobody's team. You have Isaiah Likely, 16.8 on Stack's team, which I told you was a great pickup right before top 5.
I was very excited about that.
George Kittle, 15.1 on my team. Kittle continuing to produce. I'm happy with, except for that 1 week. I think last week
you flipped out.
He had like 3 points.
So the Dolphins right now are 9-4. The Bills are 7-6. So technically, if the Bills went out and the Dolphins lose out, then
there's still 4 more games to be played.
Oh, there is 4. I was thinking 3.
Now 17 games now.
We're in week 15. 15, 16, 17. 3 games.
18.
Oh, you're right.
There you go.
Oh, you're right. They play 17 games. There's 18 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So, but do you guys test it with Tyreek? Which obviously is a big deal for fantasy managers. Do you test it and let Tyreek play and potentially make it worse? Or do you shut him down?
I don't know the extent of his injury. And then I don't know if you watch, like he came back.
Oh, I know.
And he ran.
But it was intermittent, wasn't it?
It was intermittent. So will the week be enough rest to be okay.
Somebody that's had severe high ankle sprains. A high ankle sprain is the one thing that will stop you from
Is
being
that
explosive.
what it was? Was it a high ankle
Yeah.
sprain?
That's the one thing that'll stop you from being explosive. Like low
And
ankle sprain.
That's what he is.
Low ankle sprain, not a big deal. High ankle sprain, being mobile, being agile, it's super hard.
So maybe he suits up, but he's intermittent again this game. And then potentially see what we can do without him. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. It's against the Jets, division game.
It'll be interesting.
Jets have a solid defense.
Yep.
Can our defense? I mean,
Lately, no. Hey, Zach.
He had a great game last week.
Great last week. Looked great. He said, "At this point, what do I have to worry about? I'm just going to go out and play football because the worst thing they're going to do is put me back to third string again." Not a bad way to look at it.
Fair enough.
Maybe he needs to look at it like that. But Dalton Kincaid for tight ends. He's got a right shoulder injury. He's day-to-day. And I believe the other tight end for the Bills is coming back as well, so that makes things murky. So somebody that's been trusty.
Did you mention Kincaid when you said about for the pick'ems? Sit-ems, I mean?
Mm-hmm. You mean, did I fake him last week?
No. For this week, I don't remember. You texted me a few injuries. I don't remember if Kincaid was on that list.
He's day-to-day, so it's 50-50.
He was my pick, but we'll see.
Oh. So you might want to have a backup pick.
I do have a backup
before.
Anyway.
All right, so that's it for injuries that are new injuries.
Let's go through kickers and defense real quick. Kickers, Brandon Aubrey, 22 points on your team. Top kicker this week. Good job. Greg Zerlane, 17 free agent. Lucas Havrizik, 13 points free agent. Justin Tucker, 12 points. Tebow. Chase McLaughlin, 11 points free agent.
I think that's the most people that we've had in the kickers.
Oh, we have two is usually about where it is. Maybe one day we'll have all five.
So many free agents.
I know. Defenses, Saints, 24, Prusi, Vikings, 21, free agent, Broncos, 16, your team, Bears, 15, free agent, Cowboys, 14, free agents.
Remember I mentioned the Vikings to you?
Mm-hmm.
They just did it a week earlier than I thought.
See, that's why I stuck with my Patriots pick.
Yeah.
Oof.
I told you I didn't like either one of your picks for defense.
Patriots, what did they get?
Patriots were 5.
Yeah, I'll take that.
What were the Vikings?
21.
Yeah. I told you I didn't like either one of them.
But that's it for the top performers of the week for fantasy.
I did beat you in defensive rank.
Oh, by like a point? That helps you.
A little bit. All right. Sit-ems or recap?
Let's go sit-ems.
Sit-ems? Let's do last week's to do a recap. Go into the recap of last week for our league, and then we'll do our sit-ems for next week.
Okay.
So week 14, because I know you didn't do the scores.
I'm going to write them down as you do.
So Herbert, 2.8 points on my team. Stroud, 2.6 points on your team.
Oof. It was close.
Najee, 6.3 points on your team. Good job picking another player that got hurt. Austin Eckler, 18.5 points on my team.
I'm not celebrating that he got hurt, but my pick.
He's been terrible, too. Mike Evans on your team. Man, you killed me with this one. 1.3. I told you I had both my leagues. In both leagues, he scored me 1.3. I was like, Evans,
not the one this week.
Puka Nacua, 11.5 with a separated shoulder.
Ugh.
That guy is a boss. Cole Kmet, 9.1. Evan Ingram, 27. The only good game he's had this season. Patriots, 5. Lions, 4. So final score, my total team, 63.8. Your total team, 24.3.
Yeah. That's right. Dude, your Ingram and Herbert by themselves beat my entire team.
Yeah. Oh, I noticed.
You treasure this dollar.
I noticed. I was watching. I was like, I'm literally watching. I'm like, hold on. Did they just say Najee went down? Damn. And then I'm watching. I'm like, man, Evans hasn't caught a pass yet. I'm like, oh, he's on Nate's team too. Stroud got hurt. I'm like, really? And then I'm watching the Patriots game, and I'm like, man, they're not going to score any points. Like, this is not my week. It is definitely Nate's week.
I don't think I could ever beat that week. Like, the only thing I could have picked better, like, what, a different tight end maybe? Like,
You might maybe picking Cole Kmet would have given you a lower score, but I don't think there's anybody else in the top
12,
top
that
24 that you would have done.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Just about a perfect week.
Yeah.
And I hope you do it again this week, because this week's challenging. This week there was some what the heck is going on things. So last week, how do I get? There we go. Last week, and actually, quick rundown here because you were saying who picked up what. Prue did pick up Carr and got rid of Dobbs. Will picked up Ty Chandler and got rid of Roshan.
Oh, so Ty Chandler's on his team now.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't realize that for the bottom. So he was not on your team before.
Prue picked up Marquise Brown, and Will picked up the Chiefs. And then afterwards, which I'm not fully upset, I'm partially upset with this because I think I'm going to get screwed. And I think Pacheco's going to get put back on out. But I got rid of Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Brandon Cooks, and then I picked up Flacco for Taysom Hill.
Flacco, huh?
Hey, Flacco's been looking good.
I don't think he did that well this last week, did he?
Yeah.
Huh. 20.3. Okay, fair enough.
Beat CJ Stroud.
It's by a little bit.
Yeah. So week 14 report.
So you didn't want Desmond Ridder then?
He's only had one good week. Flacco's actually had 3 weeks in a row.
This is the beginning of his 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, I hope so. Best team of the week. Run, Gibbs, run. Christina with 179.74. And that's going to play very big here in a second.
Oh, yeah.
And then worst team of the week. Prue Crew. Do you want to, can we rewind the tape and show what we talked about Prue like 5 weeks ago?
Which part? The fact that Prue 200 points
Prue
ahead.
was 200 points ahead. He was going to be going into the playoffs number one and, dominating.
I don't know what happened, man.
Wow, fantasy football.
I know. It's a cruel mistress for sure.
Hey, that's how I feel in my other league with Amon-Ra, Tyreek Hill, and Mike Evans.
And the worst thing now is, he's against the guy playing spoiler. And I already spoiled the one thing. Can I do it again?
So, players of the week. You already went over most of them with Lamar Jackson on your team, Zeke on my team. That was the pickup of the year, I think. Debo Samuel on Christina's team, Isaiah Likely on my team, Brandon Aubrey on my team, and then the Saints on Prue's team, which I love the Saints pickup, by the way. That's a defense for the playoffs that I really like. Bench warmers.
Jake Browning on my team, Cook on Steiger's team, Wilson on Christina's team, Ingram on Prue's team, Ingram on his bench. 27. I mean, I know you said that was his only good game, but that sucks. I don't know if that would have made a difference, so I don't remember how much he lost by.
No, he's still
Sanders, 8 points. Kicker. The defense Broncos, 16 points on your bench.
So remember, that would have put him up to about 120. Now, most efficient manager, Christina, 179.74 out of 185.54 max. Prue.
Least efficient manager, Prue with 93.64 on a potential 124.32.
So 124 was his max. Highest points on a loss, Steiger.
I know.
149.64, losing by 30.1.
I know. It's like, that was me at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I remember.
And then lowest points in a win, myself 143.36 against 137.8, Justine. Which that came down to Monday night.
It did.
And Saquon picked it up. And Tyreek dropped it, unfortunately.
Oh, my goodness, Tyreek. Tyreek killed me this week.
You're telling me I was watching that game.
Biggest blowout, and this is why I said the 27 wouldn't. It would have mattered, but it wouldn't have mattered.
I forgot it.
Myself over Prue, 146.12 against 93.64. So even if you threw that in, he would have had what? Where was he? 124.32.
At his max.
So still.
Yeah.
And I left points on the bench. So
narrow victory. I just went over this myself against Justine, 143.36, 137.8.
Did you just hit the button? Overachiever. Christina, 179.74. She scored 54 points more than was projected.
Now, on the opposite end of that, underachiever, Will, 98. I didn't even realize he passed 100.
So we had two people that did not crack 100.
That used to be both number one.
So you outscored them
he's still number one,
sit-ups 2 weeks ago.
Sure.
Remember that. I'm not letting you live that down.
don't know what you're talking about. 98.46 is a starting projection of 147.09, so about 49-point difference.
Yeah. Now, the top performance, the only ones that really matter was, so who? Oh, hold on. I'm going to get out of this for 1 second. Go over here.
I don't even want to talk about right now.
Because if you look at the points as far as what's scoring, the only reason it matters is right here. Because if some of those people had maxed out their points, it could be a big difference going into this coming week.
Right.
And if you look at, are we on last week? We're on last week's. So if I look at the bottom here, Christina beat Steiger by 30.
By 30, yes, sorry, 30.
Yeah.
But her 179 is itself a big deal.
Is a big deal because she was the top scorer of the week, and I mean she was top scorer by 30 points, 32 points.
And that's when I was doing the math, I was like, she got the same record as Justine now, but her points put her over.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna get into that in a minute. Yeah. Nate the Great beating Justine this week by 6, but now he is 6-8, but she is 8-6, and so is Christina. Travis's Tots, I don't know what he did this week, but getting smoked by the replacements.
He's sitting his players for playoffs.
He's resting him? Yeah. Resting him? Okay. So 147 to 98.46. So Travis's Tots is not unbeatable. But 10-4, and now replacements are also 8-6. And then myself at 9-5 beating Prue Crew 146 to 93.64. So I'm 9-5. So actually Travis's Tots is 10-4. I'm 9-5. We got a bunch of people at 8-6, and now Prue Crew's 7-7.
So then his low score is going to be a big impact because he's going to have to win big if he wants to make it in, and other people lose.
Well, remember, playoffs begin week 16.
I know. This is 1 week left.
I'm going to show you in a second. Well, when we go over projections for next, actually, we'll go right into the projections for next week because you're segueing into exactly what I was going to say.
Perfect.
So looking at the games this week, actually here, start at the bottom, read up, and then I'll show you what I was looking at this morning.
All right, you have Steiger 0-14. You have Nate the Great, 7th place, 6-8. I'm staying down there.
Steiger, you need to vote to have that extra win each week based on beating the league medium, because I bet he would be 14-14 right now.
Not 14-14.
No, he'd probably be like 9-19 instead of 0-14.
Right.
So that'd be a lot better.
The Prue Crew 7-7 with 9. I'm going to say the points for the starting from here because it actually matters. 1986.
Oh, so you don't matter?
I don't matter. No, not in points, but for spoiling, yes.
Yes.
Keep your eyes out for me. Double check yourself. Justine in 5th place, 8-6 with 1959. So Prue's ahead of her in points right now.
Mm-hmm.
But both of them are not in the playoff run at the moment. Then in 4th place, you have Run Gibbs Run. Christina has 8-6 record as well, 1973. So she's only beating Justine by 14 points.
14 points, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not far. And now keep in mind, Prue's beating both of them in points.
Yes.
So he needs both of them to lose.
Yes.
Then you have replacements, Tebow, 8-6 with 21-11 points. He's sitting kind of pretty up there, but he still needs to maintain his lead.
He can't have a week like your brother just had.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Prue just had.
So now winning would obviously he's in if he wins. Yeah. But if he loses, he needs to at least score enough to keep him above the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have yourself, 9-5. I'm pretty sure you're guaranteed to be in now.
I'm guaranteed to be in.
Yeah. No, well, not technically. If all 3 of them win and score enough to pass your score, you can drop down to 5th.
They can't all 3 win.
Oh, do they play each other? Oh.
Finish.
Oh, okay.
That's why I said it gets interesting. This is like a Telemundo you grew up on.
Travis's Tots. Travis's Tots 10-4, sitting pretty up top. He is guaranteed in with 1935 points. Not even 2,000, man.
Guaranteed in, but he might not actually be guaranteed for a spot anymore.
Well, sure. Because if you win, who's playing who? Let's see.
So let's start at the bottom. Run Gibbs Run versus the replacements. So can they all win?
They cannot all win.
So one of them is knocking the other one out potentially.
Potentially, yes.
Depending on what the rest, but starting off with this one, Run Gibbs Run versus the replacements. one of them can't win.
Mm-hmm.
And a tie is not going to help.
Can there even be a tie? Has that happened?
Yes, there has been a tie.
Oh, man.
It's wild. When I was playing in one of my leagues last year that did decimal scoring, it was like 131.64 to 131.64.
All right.
It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. And it screws up the whole league, the whole league scoring. Now, Nate the Great versus Prue Crew. So 6-8 versus 7-7. So Prue needs to win. He needs the right people to lose, and he needs to score a ton of points.
Well,
and it's potentially he's out anyways.
Just from what you went through so far, he needs to win, obviously. Put up enough points to stay ahead, and he needs Tebow to win.
Correct.
So he needs Christina to lose.
Correct.
If Christina and Josina were playing against each other, he'd already be out.
Correct. Now, Travis's Tots plays Steiger. So if Steiger does what he did last week,
and Travis's Tots does what he did last week,
then Steiger could play spoiler as far as who's going to go into the playoffs number one, depending on the last game.
And funny enough, like if he did that for the last game of the season,
right?
Saved it all.
He goes
up.
1-14.
1-14
and beats Travis's Tots going into the playoffs.
All right.
Now the last game, myself versus Belichick yourself. 9-5 versus 8-6.
And then do you guys all have your players in? No, yourself, Stroud, and it's gonna be an interesting game.
It's going to be a very interesting week because this game is super important. This game is super important. So Run Gibbs Run versus the replacements, and myself versus Belichick. And you go down here because I have a lead on Run Gibbs Run for points. Not a ton, but I got 50 points, right?
Mm-hmm.
40 points.
40, yes.
40. And then Belichick yourself, I've got
54.
Yeah, 54. So unless they outscore me by 50 or 40 and 50, and I lose, there's so many things that have to happen, but he needs a miracle. Prue needs a miracle to get into the playoffs now. And I think it was 5 weeks ago. I almost want to go back and find the tape.
I mean, to be fair, well, you guys are 50-50 right now, but you're on a good run. You beat Justine is not a bad bet, but it's a 50-50 bet.
Mm-hmm.
And replacements beating Christina is a pretty decent bet at the moment. Now him beating me, that's the other story. I'm gonna put everyone I can in there.
Well, that's if you win, then it just
that's done right there.
But in reality, I would say either replacements is in or Christina's in.
So you think the top four now is what's going in?
No, I'm saying one of these two is in, and if Justine beats me,
well, she doesn't technically need to beat you, as long as she scores 15 more points than Christina.
Yeah.
If assuming Christina loses to replacements,
right?
But if Christina beats replacements, then that means she needs way too many points to pass Tebow.
60.
Yeah.
Right.
So unless she has the same game that she had.
Which in that case, if Christina beats replacements and Belichick beats myself, then she would move up. We'd be tied. I would be ahead of her in points. And then if Tebow was to outscore me. Okay.
Wait, you did math wrong. He has 21-11.
Oh.
So she would need like 160
yes.
points.
Oh wow.
That's not happening.
No.
So that means she needs Tebow to win.
Wait a minute, what?
She needs Tebow to win so that she can go against Christina in points.
Or she needs to win.
Or she needs to, if she wins, or she needs to win.
But if she wins, she would have to outscore me if Tebow wins by quite a deal to be able to take the spot from me.
But if Tebow wins, then Christina loses, and she already takes that spot.
Right. But I'm saying, so she would be fourth.
Yeah.
So it's really who's going to make it in, Christina or Belichick yourself?
It's down to the wire. I've never seen it this close.
Tebow's got the points.
Tebow's got mad points. He's not.
He's got the points tie break.
Yeah, easily.
Oh, so actually he could be out.
How could
if
he
they
be
both
out?
win? If Belichick yourself and Christina both win, even if I lose, I still have one more game winning than.
Oh yeah, because you'd be 9-6, he'd be 8-7.
So Tebow would be fifth.
Oof. There's a lot.
It's a wild last week.
I've never seen anything this
close. And your
close.
brother's just chilling. He's like, I might be second. No big deal. I might be second. That's literally the worst.
There's worse things.
Worst case scenario for him is second.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh man. All right.
So you play a big role this week, right? Wait, who are you playing?
Prue.
You don't play that big of a role. Because is there a chance if he wins, he's 8-7, loses?
He needs these two to lose.
So he needs both these two to lose, and he needs to outscore them in points.
No, he's already ahead in points.
No, but he's only ahead of her by 13. And he's only ahead of her by.
Okay, but he needs to at least do the same in points.
Yes.
Which is not. If he wins, he's most likely going to do that already. If they lose,
because he's playing me.
No, he's playing.
Sorry, he's playing you. But I'm saying if
he's beating me, he's putting up points, all right? Because I'm putting up points.
But I'm saying if Christina or replacements or Belichick yourself or Christina score 170 again.
And you score 171.
And he scores 140.
I mean, sure. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying if he wins, and they lose, it's still likely he's going to lose. Yes, he needs them both to lose, 100%.
Wow, we literally have 6 people that could be in the playoffs and a 4th playoff spot.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty good end of the year, folks. It's getting interesting.
So now I kind of wish my brother lost a couple games just to add to the
a little more spicy.
And if I won one more game early.
Oh yeah, if you won one more game and your brother had lost one more game right now.
Yeah, give me one of your wins real quick. Make it interesting.
It's already pretty interesting. It's just
I know.
We could have 7 out of 8 competing for 4 spots on the last week. Just make it a 1-week playoff to get in.
This is ridiculous. If only I was part of it. I mean, a part where I can get in.
Yeah, a part where you're not playing spoiler. Steiger,
the spoiler's still fun.
Steiger, you can play spoiler this week too.
A little bit, yeah.
You could push him back to second. All right, let's hit some sit-ems quick and get everybody onto the games. You won, so you get to pick first.
QB, Kyler.
I knew you were going to say that.
I knew you would say that. That's why I already had backups. Did you have backups?
Yes.
Okay.
All
Who's your backup?
Tua.
Tua, not a bad pick. My backup was Trevor Lawrence.
I think he might have a decent week.
We'll see. I'm kind of curious about that. Running back, Connor.
Oh, you're just sticking with those Cardinals, huh?
Wait, did I pick Cardinals this week? When did I pick Cardinals?
You just picked Kyler.
Oh, duh.
You picked Connor.
Sorry.
You just threw me off now. I thought there was no way you weren't going to pick one of these two. I'm dead serious.
I had a feeling with Connor.
I looked at Connor for a minute. Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
You're on season stats.
Yeah, no, but I'm just thinking. All right, I'm gonna go on a limb here. I'm gonna go Zach Moss.
Moss, interesting pick. Who's Moss playing?
Somebody decent.
Pitt. Steelers.
Decent defense.
Actually,
hold on. Before you say it, No, I'm going Kenneth Walker. Before you spoke.
Wide receiver, Lockett.
Ooh, I knew you. I literally looked at it. I was like, I know who he's picking. All right, I'm going McLaurin.
He was actually potential for me. But that wasn't even actually what my top two were for it. So this is where I have to ask, because tight end I put Kincaid, but you said he's day to day.
If you want, put him, but I would have a backup.
So my backup is Ferguson. So if Kincaid is straight up announced out, then my sit-em will be Ferguson in his place.
Okay. Got air.
Got air. Interesting. Packers.
Ooh, who are they playing?
I'm blanking now, though.
Ooh.
Tampa Bay. I have a feeling about Tampa Bay this week.
Ooh.
Did I throw off your pick?
I'm going to go with the Chargers. I was going to go with my pick from 2 weeks ago.
Oh, you went for the 12th?
Kansas City.
Kansas City. Against New England? I don't see New England doing anything. Oh, wait. Yeah.
I don't like where the Chiefs' heads are at right now.
That's a fair point.
And Zeke just proved that you give him the rock enough times, he will score.
That's fair. All right, that's fair. But Chargers it is.
It's going to be an interesting week. My goodness.
Maybe I can go down to 26 this week. That's what 24.3. Yeah, I was even lower than I thought. Maybe I'll go to just even 24. Just save off the 0.3. I need everyone to get hurt for that.
I was going to say. Man, okay. This is the last week before playoffs. Check Thursday night. Make sure you got your people in. Watch for last minute injuries because there's a lot of injuries that are big names right now. Man, coming down to the last week to figure out who's going to be in the playoffs. And you got 5 people fighting. Pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, we will see you next week. This will be up tomorrow before the Thursday night games. So let's get it rocking.
Let's get it rocking.